Hello, welcome back, YouTubers. This is Red Non Readiness, and today we're going to be doing a review of Holosuns. I'm a huge fan of Holosun. I know people have a lot of ups and downs about them, and you know, when I first got introduced to Holosun, I was just glad that there was a reasonably well-designed optic that usually had their own tools. They had pretty sturdy adjustments for making, you know, your MOA adjustments, which I really enjoyed. Good buttons, very durable. When they started coming out with their closed emitter optics, I was a big fan of those because I really did get tired of carrying microfiber cloth with me to clean the glass on my optics. But yeah, today we're going to take a look at a bunch of different Holosuns, and you can be the judge on what you think about them. But I could say I'm a pretty big fan of all of them. So basically today I'm just going to be talking about the Holosuns and also which ones might be right for you. So we'll start out. This is the RMSC footprint, the 507K. It's the HE507K. This is the green version. Just so you know, all firearms have been cleared. Let's see if you can see that. Where's it? Boom, boom, boom. So this is the circle dot. All right. And I freaking really enjoy this as an optic. For a pistol optic, when you have it lined up, because like on the P365 footprints and most other micro dots or other micro pistols, 9mm pistols or any micro pistol, usually they don't have a plate. I'm not sure why so many larger handguns use plates, like the MOS plate or SIG. I think you can have a direct mount with like the SIG optics. I don't think they require a plate, but if you wanted to put something else on there, you would need a plate, which makes sense. I mean, for SIG to use their own footprint, but I think, you know, it would be nice if they offered, you know, a different offering. However, SIG's footprint is the RMSC footprint, I believe, or is it the SIG Romeo? I'm not sure. Do your due diligence, actually. But the P365, I know, fits the Holosun. I remember when I had a 43X, I had to get a Swamp Fox to direct mount it. And I know there's people who, like, even with the Hellcats and the 43Xs, that they found ways to mount Holosun 507Ks and 407Ks. The 407Ks are just a dot only, and the 507Ks are a circle with a dot, and then it's also multi-reticle, so you can switch it to just the circle or just the dot, which I really like. I usually run the circle with the dot. If I'm taking like precise shots at the range, I do notice that I'm a little more precise out at distance when I don't have the circle. But at close range, it's a little easier to find your optic quicker when you have the circle with the dot. Because if you're off a little bit, you notice it more. Your eyes are drawn to the whole circle and you just move it to where you need to. So that is the 507K. And I will show you in comparison to the 507C. So they have a 407C and a 407K. K is the smaller one, the C is the larger one, and this also has a very rounded style. But as you can see, there's the circle dot as well. And if you put these side by side, you can see the size difference. I gotta say, for me, the smaller window and stuff just really doesn't bother me, especially like when you line them up with the irons like that. So you just line your irons up and it's going to be right there. Same with this. And these have been really good optics. I know for a while people were bashing the 507Ks and maybe some people were having some durability issues, but as you can see, I've really used this one for quite a while, probably 3-4 years. And honestly, I think I'm still running off the same battery. No, I think I did have to change this one once. I did change this battery one time in 3 years. But the battery life on them are really great. The settings on them are really great. What I did like about this, obviously there's no optic plate on the Echelon, which I really love. But those are the pistol optics that I really prefer to use. If I did have my choice, which it's a little bit more expensive, is the 508T, which is the same footprint as this, but it's squared off just like the 507K. It's square like this, and it's made of titanium, and it's like around this size for larger pistols. The 508T is fantastic. It is not a closed emitter, but I just really like that optic. It's really just an upscale version of this in titanium and for larger handguns. The EPSs are fantastic as well. Since those EPSs came out, they've been like the thing of choice over this when you're looking for a closed emitter for everyday carry or even range work and being in the rain and all that stuff. Sometimes the closed emitter is really a good feature to have. But you know, I've had these since before those ever came out, and it served me really well. So I haven't thought about putting it in a drawer and spending that much money on an EPS. But the EPS carry and the regular EPS are phenomenal. I will show you comparison of the 509T, which is the big brother to the EPS and the EPS carry. So let me grab that for you. Right. So this is the 509T. Again, show you that everything's clear. Clear as clear can be. Make sure you see in there. Clear chamber. So just to show you some size comparison, because the 509T is still very small for what you have here. You could run this on a carbine. This one also has the circle dot. That's a 65 MOA. There we go. Come on. There it is. And the 507C. So these are really close to the same size optic, except the 509T is in a closed emitter and it's made of titanium. All of the Holosun titanium products, you're going to pay a little more for them, but man, they are so durable. As you can see, I've beat this thing up, and I promise you it operates as if it's brand new. The glass stays super clear, works really well brand new. I like this setup. This is a Holosun mount. That's a direct mount to the 509. And on like a 300 blackout or an AR9 or any really shorter style pistol, higher caliber pistol, I think these are a great option. Or even on, you know, a larger handgun. I've seen them on Glocks and absolutely love them. I actually know some people who have like direct milled. They've milled their slide to be direct for the 509, and that is just an absolutely great setup. So those are really the three pistol Holosuns that I have. Like I said, I have played around with the EPSs and the 508Ts, and I just think that every Holosun optic is a way to go. If you can afford whichever Holosun you're looking for, then I think you're pretty set up well. Now, I must say, the thing about Holosun is sometimes their screws and things can strip. You have to be very careful. I do suggest using a very good bit and not the bit that comes on their tool for tightening screws. Sometimes, I don't know if it's the bit that causes things to get a little finicky, but I'll explain this story on the next one. So these are two very comparable style optics. This is the 512, Holosun 512. Wow, this is like one of the few where it doesn't have it listed on it. But this is the 512, and I've really enjoyed this optic. Clarity-wise, structure-wise, The fact that you have the side loading quick detach to pop in the battery, that's toolless. You don't need a tool to take the battery in and out. I really enjoy that. However, I did have Holosun send me a new mounting screw because I stripped the first one. And fortunately enough, when I picked up the KP9, I had this actually on a riser, and I didn't really want it on a riser. I like optics that are raised up, but I don't know. I really wanted this to be the way it is. I feel like I get a nice purchase on it without the riser, and I didn't really like the way it looked. So the gunsmith over when I picked this up, he took it off of there for me, and Holosun had already sent me the screw, so I just replaced it on site. And overall, besides that screw going bad, I really like this. These are actually super priced well. Like, I think you can get these for like $350 right now. I think it's kind of a model that they've gone away from a little bit. And I understand a little bit why. You know, the glass and the way everything is, I could see them coming up with a little better, less bulky design. These are, you know, a little bit bulky, but however, I enjoy this optic a lot. So if you can get one of these for a good price, I suggest picking up the 508T. Again, just so you guys know, everything is safe. See if you can get a good view of the circle dot there. Yeah, that looks great. These also do really good with magnifiers behind them. And yeah, I mean, really hard for you to not hit what you're aiming at with one of these. So I love the 512 as well. And lastly, let's take a look at the Holosun Ames optic. I'm going to grab that. I'll be right back. All right. So this is the Holosun Ames Core. So this is like the base model. They have a few different models of these. I believe they have one that is titanium, and then they have the multi reticle solution, and then some of the higher end ones also come with flip caps, which I do believe that you can buy aftermarket because there's two screws right here, and you can get different models for flip caps to keep this thing covered. And this is also the Holosun 3X magnifier, the titanium one. There is the one that's aluminum, which is also absolutely phenomenal. I think you can get those for around $200, and I think these are like an additional $100 for the titanium model. What's nice about the aluminum is it does come back farther, so you don't have to crouch up on it as much. So you essentially can be farther behind the gun and see it with the aluminum model. This titanium model, yet it's smaller and probably a little more durable. Overall, you have to kind of get up on it to get a good view, but this works really, really well. Also, I did pick up a Lancer Plus 6 extension, and I've really been enjoying this thing. Clear. Try to give you a view here of how this looks with just the dot. Let's see, there she is. So I mean, even though it doesn't have the circle dot, I feel like the size of this window and your purchase being consistent on the firearm, that you pick this dot up really, really well. Again, I do feel always a little more precise with just the dot than I do the circle dot. It just depends on certain situations. I do prefer the circle dot over just the dot because you can always switch it. It's multi-reticle when you have that. But however, I was able to get this from a really good price from a friend who has astigmatism, and he bought it and it wasn't working out for him, and he's a good friend of mine, so he hooked me up with this for a really great price, and I don't regret it at all. I don't know if I can get the magnifier. Yeah, there we go. Get a little bit. So as you can see, the window, it's really tight. Like if I just move slightly, But as you can see, it's a pretty nice setup. This overall has become my favorite setup on an AR, and it's just simple and to the point. I have LPVOs and I have micro 1X prisms, and I like my 1X prism. However, I feel like this is extremely sturdy of a setup, and then also it's just a really simple to the point, can magnify it very quickly, can take it off very quickly. I believe this optic here is about 3.9 ounces is what the Holosun website says, and if anybody knows of a different weight, then let me know down in the comments. It does feel like the 512 is a little heavier than the Ames, and I think that's why they went to the Ames over the 512. So just to show you a size comparison, right? Size comparison wise, look at how big this thing is versus this, and you get the job done very easily. I don't know if you can see window size difference with the glare. There we go. But roughly the windows are extremely comparable. So if I was going to buy one over the other, I probably would go with the Ames over the 512, and I think that's why they haven't been really pushing the 512 like they used to. And even when it came out, the 510 just seemed to, and the 510 is basically a 512 with an open emitter. And that one just sold like crazy. Like tons and tons of people got those on their rifles, and it's just a super crystal clear optic. The glass is very clear. The reticle is very clear, and I mean, as you can see, I'm a big fan of Holosuns. So what I would say is, if you're getting a micro pistol, I would stick with Holosun. I still haven't delved into some of these cheaper, newer to the game optics, and I do feel like a lot of them are improving rapidly, like the Zulcis and the the Gideons. They're pretty good from what I hear. And then you have like CV Life, and you have Civivi, and you have all these different dots that you can get on Amazon. But some of them are not as cheap. I mean, if you can get one for less than $200, it's probably worth a try if that's what your budget is. Some of them seem pretty good. But if you're going to start spending $200 to $300, I feel like it's just worth it just to stick with the Holosun. That's just my opinion. I personally, if I'm going to spend that much, I'd rather just get something that's more reputable, well-known, has been being used now for quite some time. And I think that overall, that would be the better decision to make if you're going to start spending that type of money. I just wanted to do some honorable mentions of a couple other little things. So let me move some of this to the side. I had to pick up, which I will show you here, from HRT, which I'm a pretty big fan of HRT. They make some just really awesome products that I'm a big fan of, especially their nylon stuff. But overall, they make a lot of little stuff that will make your kit just a little more functional and simple. Just easy to have it set up a certain way, and easy to, have it preset for you. So there's not much thinking involved besides just loading it up and getting going, which that's what I'm a big fan of. But I had to order something else that I'll show you guys in a minute. But I did pick up one of their EDC tourniquets. I don't believe HRT makes these. I do know that they were selling them on their site. However, these are called, I think they're called the EDC Tourniquet by Snake Staff Systems. And this is just so tiny. Like, look at this thing. I've been able to start carrying a tourniquet every day with me, And I've been really just happy to have one with me, as I would have one in my bag and stuff like that. But like, if you ever need a tourniquet and it's in your bag and you have to get to it, that's a pretty stressful situation. So what I would say is the most practical tourniquet to carry, if you're going to carry a cat style with the, way to crank it down, get it out, put it around you and crank it down, Velcro it, crank it down. I think this new style tourniquet is absolutely amazing. What a game changer to me this is. Now, even on kit, I feel like I would phase out almost all of my tourniquets for these. I've tested it and it's done a really great job. It's been super sturdy. It basically felt like I had a regular tourniquet on, and this is just taking up less space. You could probably carry 4 of these around your kit very, very easily. I would like to find, if anybody knows, you could please put that in the comments, but like something that, because this exposes the Velcro, and I'm constantly worried about keeping the Velcro clean, so I do have a good stick whenever I need it, is some type of nice little case for this. I could probably makeshift one out of a bunch of different things, or find something that just it works for. But I just want to keep it really slim the way it is. And yeah, overall, I love this. I keep it in a pocket. And I don't even realize that it's in a pocket. So I could have this plus my phone and a regular pocket, and it really makes no difference in size factor. So if you guys carry a tourniquet every day, this is something you want to carry one every day, this is something that you really should take a look at. And then just to show something else from HRT, which I found super valuable, because I think I showed this on the last time I showed my battle belt in the core battle belt video that I have. And if I'm able to link it, I'll put a link somewhere right here, and you can rewatch that video at some point to see the changes that I've made to my battle belt. However, after going back and doing more training and talking to the trainer that our group works with, who's also part of the group, he did give me some pointers on holster placement and having it more on the front of your thigh and less on the side of your hip. And there's quite a few reasons for that, whether it's being faster to draw because your hands are already here and less having to go to the back, and just being able to drop your hand where your hands naturally lay, and your pistol's usually right there. And then also getting in and out of a car. So when it's more to the top and you can sit there in the car and not have your outside the waistband holster on your duty belt like next to you, especially if you're the driver, that has been really good. So I've rearranged a couple things on my belt, and since I did that, it actually feels just a lot slimmer. So just to give you a quick peek, what I did was, and this is the main thing that I wanted to show you guys, was these adapters from HRT. So, down baby. She's all about daddy. These adapters right here from HRT, and I did put a couple little zip ties on them just to make sure that nothing really shifts at all. But they allow you to run your magazine pouches at a 45-degree angle or 40-degree angle. And I really like that, because when stuff is just up real high right here, all your bending is just, I probably need to slim up some, but that is really in the way when you're trying to be mobile. Also, I pretty much carry 20-round mags on my belt, especially the first 2. Sometimes I will put a 30-rounder in here, and I don't really have a problem with that. But when they're 20 rounds, they're just way out of the way of like how high your armor sits and stuff like that. I also lowered my flat pouch so I could have it really high, and it was really high on my back, and I decided to lower it. I decided to practically center my medical kit, and then I switched the holster with this pouch. I had this pouch in front of the holster and the holster more on my back of my hip. But since I've made this adjustment, everything is like really nice, and as you can see, it's just compact. There's nothing too high up. And also I really like having an extra small utility pouch and not just having, because this is basically weightless, but if you have like an extra 4 rows, those are the admin pouches that normally go on your chest. And I think that that's just a great option to have on your belt. Also, let's see if I can remember the name, but this medical pouch, they were a bit pricey. I'll put the name of it in the description since I can't remember right now, but these are really good because they're fully adjustable. So you can like pack it out, and depending on how much you got in there, you're not fighting with getting it in or getting it out. And I've had other ones, which I had like the Tacticon copy of the Blue Force Gear one. Getting things in and out of that was just a pain. So I've been super thrilled about this one. And I'll put what it is listed in the description. But those HRT, these right here, these little mounting, they're like a carbon fiber. They're very sturdy. I've been super impressed with them. I had another one. If you go watch my other kit video, it's listed in the description of my battle belt, but it was just falling apart. I had to really put the thing together, and it was only on there for a month. And just the weight of the magazines in itself were really causing it to just change shape and not be very good. So I'm glad that I found something else, because I really like my magazines at that 45-degree angle. Lastly, guys, I just want to give a shout out to the Professional Citizens Project. This is just a really good read. I would suggest, I think there's 4 volumes, and I would suggest them all. I'm a big fan of this one. And you can go check out the Modern Minuteman's channel. He's actually the author of this book, and it has really great stuff in it. It has 5 chapters. 1 chapter on outdoor fundamentals, emergency preparedness and response, surviving your environment, mindset and philosophy, and then putting it all together. But one of my favorite things is he has a thing here of checklists, diagrams, and forums. And I have just really enjoyed having the checklist of things to keep myself accountable. And also make sure I'm just not missing anything. This book is awesome. Lots of diagrams and explanations. I think it's perfect for someone who's very young, so a youth could enjoy this book and get a lot out of it. But also, if you're not just a highly experienced outdoorsman, I think that this is just something really good to have. And then read it and review it and make sure you absorb the knowledge. Just small things on like building structures and best ways to do a lot of different things in this book. Medical information, food preparation, tenders, just a lot of good information that I think is a good thing to read. I know I love YouTube even myself, but when the grid ever goes down, all we have is our book. So if you're going to share knowledge and pass it on to the next generation and keep them educated and having the ability to absorb things through reading, I would say pick that book up. Lastly, guys, I just want to thank you for this review of Holosun Optics and a look here at my battle belt as well as the EDC Tourniquet. So appreciate you sticking with me throughout this whole video, and I will be doing a few more reviews for you in the future. Check out my lives, which will be Wednesday nights at 9:45 and Friday nights at 9:45. And I'll be trying to stick to that schedule of twice a week doing live streams, and then also doing gear reviews and other discussions that I'll be putting out as premieres. You can check out my shorts. Please like the video, comment down on the video. There's tons of different things going on in this video that you could probably give me a little two cents about, and I would appreciate it. And then if you can share the videos and subscribe to the channel. Overall, y'all, this is Red Dawn Readiness. Appreciate your time. I'll see you on the next one. Over and out.